In last lecture, we discussed about transfer function of a closed loop system, and we also derived the equation for the transfer function of a closed loop system. In this lecture, we will discuss about the types of closed loop system. Now, this is a simple block diagram of a closed loop system with feedback signs positive and negative. So we know the closed loop transfer function of this block diagram will be Gs upon 1 minus plus Gs into Hs. The feedback signs are positive, negative in the figure, but in the transfer function equation in denominator we get negative, positive. So we can say we have two types of closed loop system. First is positive feedback closed loop system and negative feedback closed loop system. So let us find the simple transfer function of positive feedback system and negative feedback system. This is a block diagram of a closed loop system with feedback signal as positive, so we can say it is a positive feedback system. We know the closed loop transfer function of this system will be G of s upon 1 minus G of s into H of s. Due to positive feedback, we will get negative sign in the denominator. So we have some points on positive feedback system. The first point is positive feedback system is also called regenerative feedback. It is used in designing of oscillators and multivibrators. Now, positive feedback system decreases the stability of a system. Now, this is a disadvantage in control system. We have one full chapter on stability of a system. In that chapter, we will discuss about the stability in great detail. So because of this disadvantage, we use negative feedback system. Now the block diagram of negative feedback system is as shown. The feedback sign is negative, so we can say it is a negative feedback system. And the closed loop transfer function T of s will be G of s upon 1 plus G of s into H of s. For negative sign or for negative feedback, we will get a positive sign in the denominator. So these are some points of the negative feedback system. It is also called degenerative feedback. Negative feedback system is used for designing of amplifiers, and the main advantage using negative feedback, the stability of the system increases. So in control system, we use mainly the negative feedback system. In many examples, if you consider this as a summing point which has one input R of s, this summing point is also called as a comparator or adder, and we have a feedback signal B of s. The input signal sign is positive, but the feedback sign is not shown. So in this condition, by default, we should consider it as a negative feedback. So we can say by default, we will consider a negative feedback system when the sign of negative feedback is not shown. Now this was a basic information about positive and negative feedback with their respective equations. Our next aim is to find the unity feedback closed loop transfer function. Then we need to represent the open loop transfer function, and the important point is to convert open loop transfer function to a closed loop transfer function, and from closed loop transfer function to open loop transfer function. We will be discussing some numericals on this third point. So let us see all these 3 points in our next video.